the world would be empty.
I mean, can you imagine not seeing beauty or hearing beauty, or it'd be horrible. It's not a place I would want to live.
I think we would really only have like a black and white version of things, whereas I think the arts provide us with a gray. A gray color is really just an amalgamation of all colors, and so that's what the arts do. They also provide us with this like beautiful in-between and beautiful way to interpret things that can be seen as either on this end of the spectrum or on the other end of the spectrum.
Boring. Just completely bland, tasteless. It's such like a vital part to every aspect of life, and without it, everything would just be lame.
It would be sad personally. I feel like I'm not just speaking for myself, but for other art students. Any type of art that people consider their art, it's an expression and a different language for them that's hard for anybody else that's not into art to understand.
Art keeps me moving forward. I keep wanting to better myself and do more like elaborate pieces or more expansive work. Like, I find that art really helps motivate me to continue pushing forward.
Elementary school is the first place most people see a passion for the arts, and then you look at places like middle schools where you're becoming a teenager and you're sort of discovering your passions even more.
If I lost the arts, I wouldn't, like every day I go home and I work on the arts, or even if I'm not working on my own personal things, I'm listening to music or I'm doing something to do with the arts. I don't know what I would do with my life if I didn't have that. I
grew to love so much of the arts. When I make music with kids, it fills something in your heart and your soul. You're always striving, you're always working to achieve, and when you work to achieve as a group, you just grow as humans. It's such a passion.
Arts help to develop people cognitively. We know that in ways that no other subject in school does. But it also provides a place for kids that maybe don't have a place until they get into this high school. Not everyone's going to be an athlete. Not everyone's going to be into sciences. And the arts is an area for other kids to belong.
My name is Mark Lemire, and I'm a psychotherapist. I'm an artist and a psychotherapist. Well, I think it's fundamental for many reasons. First of all, it's another way of thinking. We live in a culture that is pretty big on rational thinking, but it's not necessarily complete. So when you can have like rational thinking plus intuitive thinking, the picture is more complete.
When I was in OCAD and the huge Ford cut happened, we were doing renovations on the school, and they all were like, oh, we're not entirely sure if we're gonna be able to finish these by the new semester. So we're probably gonna have a bunch of construction happening during classes. Our school is like a 90% commuter school. So the studio space that's provided by the school is where we do most of like our painting. We can't really work as much if we don't have the hours for it. I know some students have had a really difficult time working on like their projects for school or their assignments. We're not allowed to leave anything at the school anymore except for this one room, which makes it very difficult for people who commute. I can't like always bring them home the day of, which is what our school is basically trying to do. And sometimes people get their work thrown out because they just don't have space anymore.
So I lost my job in April of last year and was rehired, thankfully, June 28th, so like the last day of school, like hours before I was going home. Our principal called us in, like the three of us that got rehired. So this year, we're supposed to get our letters on March 6th, which is just a week before March break. It's been a little difficult to, adjust to this like impending doom that's about to happen.
Once the school had a budget and the team of teachers and the administration that put together the schedule had to decide which courses were considered just, courses that kids don't really need. And so some of our music courses were sort of on that chopping block. This is a regional arts program. Kids come here specifically to be involved in the arts. One of my jazz studies courses, one of the sections was cut. They were going to cut the entire program. However, there was such a backlash from the community that one of the sections was reinstated. So ideally you want about 18 people to 20 people in the course at the most, and right now there are 28. It's many more people up there screaming into a microphone, so it's an adjustment.
The arts saw the first impact, I think, and we've seen that across the board. The music class that we teach, we certainly know is a benefit for the students, but it's not a requirement.
I had goals of going to very specific programs that we offer. Like we have the Mayfield Magnetics and the Mayfield Dynamics. We got one of them back, but I had goals of going into dynamics, and I think I would have gotten that this year. And I don't really know what I'm short-term looking forward to because I didn't have that opportunity anymore. So it was kind of like, oh, what am I working towards? Because now what I was working towards is gone.
And it was really hard when we had done the auditions already and we had put in all this work to try and get into this program. It just was taken away, but that was a hard thing to understand why they would do that.
For me, school is very stressful, especially just with all the subjects. Like math, I can't understand. I get so stressed over the smallest things. I feel like dance, it helps me with focus, and music helps me with math because the theory connected to it. In music, there's a lot of, in the theory, there's beats and there's, quarter note plus half note, what does that make? And that relates to math for me.
The truth is, everybody is vulnerable. Everybody has a vulnerable side. And if you acknowledge that side, you can learn a lot of things. The arts will give you a way to expand and express that.
I think that there are many kids that they have so many things going on in their lives. They have real issues at home. They have real issues, in themselves that they're trying to figure out. But, it's always, you walk in here and we're professional and we're family. And we do this together, and it literally makes them drop all those things that are just weighing on their shoulders, all of those issues, and they can just be happy and make that joyful sound together. And so, it brings them such happiness is all that it is.
I'm here to teach them about morality and how to be good people moving forward, and so that's really my motivation. I care more about making a connection with my students through their learning and through my teaching of them too.
I work through a lot of my issues through my art. I really try to express things that I've been feeling or keep bottled up. I don't want to keep them bottled up, I want to express them, and it really helps alleviate that stress from me. It's basically an act of catharsis.
Me and art is the best relationship I have with anybody or anything else because I know that it's non-judgmental.
What would it be? My passion for art's in one word.
Probably growth. It's us growing. It's us growing as people.
I'd say motivating.
Freedom. It really gives me a sense of being able to fully express myself no matter what.
I think just joy.
Love. Because I feel like there's just so much love involved with the arts because of how much love I give into it. And no matter whether I'm alone or with other people, I always have that same love for arts.